Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. You know, whenever I get locked out of my house, I always have this craving for pasta. I have no key. Today, we're taking a look at Cross Bronx Expressway from GMT Games. Now, this is part of the Irregulars Conflict series. This is volume 3. All right. Now, this one here, players are going to control one of 3 asymmetric factions. You're going to be working in the South Bronx between 1940 and 2000. You're going to be pursuing your own goals, all while trying to cooperate to keep the boroughs viable. Okay. Now, the theme of this one sounds absolutely fascinating, and I'm excited about this one. So I'll tell you what, let's go down to the table, let's open this one up, and let's see what's on the inside. All right, folks, here you go. This is Cross Bronx Expressway, all right, by GMT Games and designed by Non-Breaking Space. Now, I'm not sure if you guys can read Bronx out of that, but I like the graffiti aspect of it. I just can't read it. But if I look there, okay, there's Cross Bronx Expressway. All right, now let's flip this thing over. All right, let's see, what do we have inside? It looks like there's going to be quite a bit of components as well in here. Now, we have players 1 to 3 on this one, ages 14 and up, and your playing time is going to be 90 to 180 minutes. All right, okay, we got our map, got our bunch of cards. Let's get this thing open and let's see what's on the inside. All right, now, this is kind of a unique one from what I've seen so far. But when I first looked at it, I was originally looking at that back thinking, man, this looks like a coin game, but then it's not a coin game. All right. But yeah, I totally forgot. And I can't remember off the top of my head. Like I said, this is the Irregular Conflict series. I can't remember off the top of my head what other games are in that Irregular Conflict series. But if you guys know, leave them in the comments down below, and I'd greatly appreciate that. I will be looking these up later just to try to figure it out. Okay, now, what do we have? We're going to start off with this private orientation guide. All right, your introduction. We got some getting started. Setup, maps and districts. I mean, this game looks like a coin game, but it doesn't say it is. All right, infrastructure, population, your resources, actions and around. This is a unique rulebook. Okay. I'm not really sure. We have different colors for different things, and I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. I do like how when they color code things like that, it makes it a lot easier to try to figure out what things are. I've seen some rulebooks that do it really well. I've seen some rulebooks that are not quite so well. All right, loss leader, you got your broker, lender. I'm not really, okay, very nice. Oh, private orientation guide. I bet that's what it is. It's a 1 to 3 player game. So whether you're the public, the community, or the private, I bet you are going to get your orientation guide. And this is going to be basically your rules. All right, so we have the community one right here. All right, so each one's going to have their own. Now, I'm curious, are these books the same? I'm going to grab this public book, and I'm just going to open it up. Because, oh, I know what it is. Okay, I know what it is. I bet you anything, these rule books are the same. The only difference is your pieces are going to be laid out a little bit different. And what's like in this one here, see where this orange, whatever highlight is in orange is what's going to affect you. So this is going to be the public. This would be, what is it? The public, God, I have it right here, the community. And then this one here is going to be the private. But I believe other than that, that's the only real difference of the game. So the rule books are basically going to be the same from what I am seeing. You're just seeing different components and pieces. We don't need to look through all 3 of those. We figured it all out. Very nice. Now, Cross Bronx Expressway. Here is our core rules and regulations. Oh my gosh. So the other one is just basically for you how to play. Now this book, I'm going to look on the back real fast because this is a 40-page rule book. So there's a lot going on, and I thought I was actually zoomed out far enough for this. Let's go up just a little higher for you folks. All right, here we go. Now, we got our gameplay overview. See, and I love the look of this map, especially when everything's on it. This game, to me, it looks very coinish. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to play, but I love the look of this game. Okay, components, all your pieces, your organizations. Different losses. You got your some bonds. All right. Just kind of going through all of this. It looks absolutely interesting and fascinating. And I'm excited to give this one a try. Right, you got your community, you got your private, and what do we got? Winning and losing, okay. All right, player positions, There's a lot going on here. Now, non-player positions, so if you're not playing with your full count of 3, right, you're going to have to deal with a couple of those. The golden rule. All right, non-player example of play. Oh, okay, so at least there's a good little example of how to do all that. Very nice. Some setup instructions. And I don't know if that's going to be the standard way to play Cross Bronx. Is a single session. Oh, okay. All right, and there you go. That is your rules and regulations. A lot to that one. Now, this is cool. Here is a history record, and this is a huge book. I'm not going to go through this one. This is a 60-page book that is just going to have a lot of history and notes. It looks like there might be some scenarios in here as well. Actually, let's look at the intro. Yeah, so look, I'm guessing there's going to be some different scenarios in this. So we'll look at this very beginning part right here, because it looks like they're going to start on about page 10. Yeah, so in the 1940s, you got your population. All right, you're going to have your map set up. You're going to have different scenarios going to play out for that. Okay, you got some different events that are showing up. All right, 1950s, you're going to, yeah, so this looks like it's going to be a nice little scenario book as well. That's what it looks like to me. Now, what do we have here? What every Bronx resident should know. If you're the community, and it looks like we're going to get one of these for every faction. So let me show you what all these are going to look like. Okay. What's this? Inside. I think I can get all that on one. Okay. That way you guys can just kind of pause, look side to side. Whew, my arms aren't that long. All right. And your census, quota phase. This game looks really interesting. Okay, what do we have here? Oh, your auto phase and your reset phase. There is a lot going on. But this is standard GMT Games, man. There is a lot that goes on in their games. All right, and then I think that is everything for this, because we already started off with that. All right, now let's take a look at the private actions, because I'm assuming these are going to be maybe a little bit different. I don't know. Won't take too long to go through all of this, though, just to see if any of this, and this all might be the same. Maybe it's just going to be a little bit different coloring of pieces, your different objectives. All right, the census, I'm guessing these phases are probably going to be all the same on all of them. But then we have this last one right here. So here's your auto phase continue, and then your reset phase. Your action and event icons. All right, and then we're going to have the public. We'll just kind of go through this one as well. I don't know how many of you guys are still with me at this point in time. Maybe you've just fast forwarded on. Okay. And we'll look at these actions as well. Now, it'd be really cool if they all had some different unique actions. I'm not getting a chance. And like I said, these are just going to be the different phases, and I'm pretty sure those are all the same. There. Okay, so that's going to be those 3 right there. Now, what do we have here? Here is a non-player aid. And this is going to be, it looks like 2-sided. All right, so if you don't have everyone playing the game, this is going to be a nice little handy cheat sheet for you. And the nice thing is, once you learn these games, these aids on their games are usually good enough you can almost play the game from them. You're not looking too much stuff up. All right, so it looks like we might have some buildings right here. All right, different tokens or bonds. Oh, you can exhaust your buildings out, it looks like. All right. We're going to have, looks like a few more buildings there. And those ones are look to be exhausted. All right, so maybe does every faction have their own buildings? All right, now let's get these out of the way, because this board's coming out, and I don't know how big this board is. The back of the box doesn't look like it's a big board until I pull it out of here, and then now it looks gigantic. Okay, and it does look like it's just going to be a single-sized board, or single-sided board. And oh yeah, it's a nice 8-panel board, so we have a lot to look at here. All right, so where are we at? Looking up at the very top. All right, we got our population, got some vulnerabilities right there. Public cases. All right, infrastructure, organization. Our event deck and our current event. So I wonder if the event deck on this one, you always see what the next event coming out is. I don't know. And here's your sequence of play on what people are going to be doing. So if someone takes an action, maybe it blocks the other person out. So we got corrections, Rikers Island, little overflow area. Now here's where your private's going to be, your employees. We got the public, like we showed up there. And it looks like all our different buildings can go in all these different districts and different areas. All right, and then what do we have down here? We're just kind of angled this way. We got our community down here. But yeah, really unique and interesting map. Also looks like the victory points on this one start up at 0, but it looks like you can actually get into the negatives on your victory points. That's not usually a good sign. Not really sure what's in the negatives, but all right. Okay, now what else are we gonna have in here? All right, typical GMT fashion, we're gonna get a whole lot of wooden cubes. All the wooden cubes from GMT Games always look about the same. Super high quality. All right, we're gonna have some nice chunky blocks. I'm guessing the white and black pawns are going to be for determining what actions you take. I know coin games do it that way. Kind of feels the same on this one here. Now we are going to get this unique die. Okay, so this looks like a money die. We got $2. We got $2 and maybe some population cubes. I don't know what those are. $1, $3, and maybe a population cube. But yeah, so you're going to be rolling this thing to determine how much money you're going to get or spend or population you might get. Don't know. We're going to get some Ziploc bags to put all our tokens counters in, maybe even split these up to the different factions. But we have 2 decks of cards. All right, let's see what is in these cards. Let's take a look at these. Okay, now, okay, so it looks like down on the bottom of all these cards, there we go, get this back in here. Okay, looks like we got what? Private, public, community. I don't know if that's the turn order that you play in or whatnot, but it looks like you have just your different actions. A lot going on these cards. Ooh, let me get it back in the screen for you there. Yeah, there's a lot going on in these cards. So I'm just going to give you a second on each one. All right, and then I'm going to flip through them. I do like how they have the photo stills, because wasn't this when Reagan went to the Bronx, discovered what it was looking like. All right, in like Flynn. So it looks like there's a lot of events happening. Okay. Oh, see, in 1953. So I'm wondering if you have to pull for every year, pull X number of these events, maybe discard a few of them. I don't know. So at least that way you know what's going on. So otherwise, I mean, it looks like each one's going up by year. So I wonder if every year a different event comes out. And you always keep these events in the same order. I don't know. Kind of looks that way. But now, like, here's 3 1967s. Do you pick just one? I don't know. Game looks really interesting, though. Dirty Cops Exposed. Wow, Bronx gangs meet in peace. All right, we're up into the 70s now. President will bail out in the city. Big Mac. All right. Reagan follows Carter's footsteps in the Bronx. There we go. 1982, and it looks like 1982. Well, we're getting closer to that end year. All right, let's stick these right here for now. Okay, we got one more set of cards, and it looks like definitely we're going to be picking up at 1983. Okay, so let's see if we can get this one opened up. All right. Okay. Yep, back up to 1983. Is graffiti vandalism or art? That's a good question. Let me know in the comments below what you think. You know, I like to look a lot of a graffiti. And I know sometimes it makes an area look good, sometimes it makes an area look bad. It kind of depends on how it is. So I know downtown here in my hometown, we have a graffiti wall, but you can't just go down there and do whatever you want on it. I think you have to petition to be able to do something. And I think they have some requirements too, but it actually looks really cool. Graffiti alley, I think is what they call it. All right, and there we go. Okay, now we're going to have our census cards. 1950, are these just single? Yep, these are just single-sided. Here's one for 1960, of course 70, 80, 90, 2000s. And then these look like are these single-sided or double-sided? Yeah, okay, these are double-sided. So I'm not sure. Here's your MP builder. I'm not sure if these are for the solo game or whatnot. Okay. Try to, you know what? I'm looking at the cards and I think I'm sliding all over this. Oh, so I'm sorry, folks, man. I'm so fascinated by this game that I can't even keep everything on camera. I mean, everything just looks really cool on this one. I'm spending more time just trying to look at all the cards, and the text on these is so tiny that it's really hard to see. Try to keep that glare out of there for you. All right. Okay. Now, I'm actually really curious what these are for. Okay, and that's going to be all those blue ones. See, and yeah, I bet these are for, that's what they're for, because we have them for every faction color. Oh, you wanted to see that one. Ah, whew, man, I'm just kind of falling down today. I am off my game. Well, 100% professional on this channel. That's what we got. That's what it looks like. Okay. You know, I just like to give you stuff right off the cuff. Not everything is perfect, and apparently neither are my videos. But that's okay. All right, a couple more cards here, and then we're done. All right, MP Organizer. Looks like I need to hold these for a second too, because I'm trying to get my focus today. All right, and the last card. And there you go. Okay, and that is it. So that's going to take care of all of our events. Looks like we have all of our NPC stuff. Actually, I'm going to put those over there so they don't slide together. We're going to put this here in the middle. All right, we need to try to keep these. Well, we got to put the game board in here, so we really don't want to pile that up on the top of that. We'll throw these here, put our dice down in here. Okay, because we definitely want the game board to sit flush. I don't like the game board sitting at angles or anything like that. But the nice thing is everything fits in these boxes really, really well. These we'll have to figure out how to put all these in, but I'm sure they're going to fit pretty good, because I think, if I remember right, there was actually a little bit of room. Okay, we got our books, and then we're going to have our 3 little pamphlets here. Put this on, and that is, there you go, the Cross Bronx Expressway from GMT Games. Tell you what, this game looks really cool, really interesting. It looks very coinish. So I'm actually excited to play it because I love the coin games. And this one, it looks fascinating. So I'll tell you what, let's head back up top and let's close this out. Well, there you go, folks. That is Cross Bronx Expressway. Like I said, Volume 3 in the Irregulars Conflict series. Okay. And like I said, I got to go back and look. I don't remember playing any of the Volume 1 or Volume 2 of this series, but this game just looks fantastic. It looks like it's going to be kind of similar to a coin type game. The cards on it look great. The board looks great. There's so much going on. It just looks amazing. I do like the theme of it and everything else. That Bronx, now the graffiti looks pretty cool. I just can't read a single word that thing says, but oh well. Anyways, like I said, looks fantastic. I cannot wait to get this one to the table. Well, thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we please ask you to like this video on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on Facebook, or even on X. Please leave us a comment on any one of those platforms, and we'll get to those comments just as soon as we can. And also, folks, if you like the content we provide here, if you haven't done so already, we humbly ask you to click on the subscription button and even click on that bell and be notified when I drop new videos. And also, if you like the videos that I do on this channel, I also post videos over on my own channel. I'll do some unboxing, some reviews, and some playthroughs over there. Just a bunch of stuff out of my own personal collection. You know, I needed a new password that was 8 characters long. So I picked Snow White and the 7 Dwarves.
Oh, there's a game, oh, what you play it for? It's for having fun and learning about the Cold War. Your mind like a mental pack of sharks. We'll be putting people in their place like Karl Marx. Spreading influence across the globe in one of the best stories ever told. Twilight Struggle. Play it on the double. Communist troubles in Twilight Struggle. Some Jews would rather stay home with their girlfriends and snuggle, but I'd rather go and play Twilight Struggle. Oh.